Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. I don't feel like chatting to anybody much.
Don't you?
Because I've had two lads sleeping on the floor all night.
Oh, dear.
Well, they're a relative of mine anyway.
Oh, I see. Well, are they down for the festival, are they? Or
They are, yes.
They?
They've
Oh,
got their tickets and they're going down there, but they live at Northwood, you see. So I've got to play along with them.
Any problems so far?
No, because I see you boys in blue and I don't worry about anything.
You must have seen a lot now. I mean, a few festivals, I should think, haven't you?
22.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
Yes, ever since the first one.
Yeah.
That was the flower power. You see, that was a very different story.
Yeah.
I was telling some coppers, not you, the other day, when I was there and it started, I used to have the girls in and let them go up and have a swill in the bathroom and all that, but you couldn't risk doing that now.
No, I don't think so.
No,
you'd have too many. They'd all get onto it.
Well, yes, and I wouldn't know who's who any more than you do.
Hi. We'll be around anyway, madam.
Thank you.
That's all right. See you again. Take care. Bye then.
Outside the village, like wasps swarming around a nest, the travellers tried to find a way of getting closer to the Pilton site. Frequently, these old buses and lorries overheat or run out of fuel, causing traffic chaos for miles around. The police are determined to keep the convoy on the move. Lanes have been blocked off and farm gates barricaded to stop an unofficial festival starting up.
No, not at the moment. There's a helicopter going over.
Yes, it's been over all day. Still, that's better, isn't it?
That's right, yes, it's good.
Yes.
They're
Has the hippie
side.
contingent arrived?
Not as far as I know. I've seen nothing and heard nothing.
Well, I've seen them gathering at Glastonbury.
Oh, no, I've come in from Wells, and there's nothing.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, it's
there.
fairly quiet that way.
No,
Yes,
no
there's
problem
plenty
getting
of
in
them.
at all. So,
Well, they have been warned, and so maybe the police are keeping them away.
I hope they will, yes.
Well, yes,
Be nice for the
one
festival
element
to
you
go
don't
ahead.
want. But I gather
That's
there's
right.
actually thousands down there.
I think there are.
Thank goodness we haven't seen them in our part of the village this year. And they haven't come through our fields, and they haven't broken down our hedges this year.
Good. Well, long may it remain
well,
so.
250 police. It's not. It's all, you realise it's one between 4 people in the village.
Oh, gosh. Yes, I suppose it is.
That's right, isn't
Yes, yes.
Okay, keep going that way. Find a lay boat further on. Come on. I'm already on this lay boat, but after this lay boat, where can we go? I want these vehicles to steer off from the carriageway. Ready to stay there. One sticking out the carriageway. Anybody that doesn't move, arrest for obstruction.
Pilton Manor Vineyard is set right in the heart of the village. The first vines were planted here 800 years ago by the old abbots of Glastonbury. Now, because Michael Eavis has bought up more and more land to accommodate his massive event, the vineyard's border runs right up to the edge of the main festival entrance. The current owner, Jim Dowling, obtained the property 6 years ago when he and his wife Anne changed their lifestyle from the busy world of international computers to the more peaceful craft of producing some of England's finest wines grown on these limestone hills in the Vale of Avalon.
All right, here. How many more rows have you got?
No.
So the packing in gone over there. It goes right up.
I think they've done that block completely.
I think the security guards had a quiet night. They said there were a lot of people trying to get through in the middle,
Yes, that's right.
and it didn't have any more fires to put out.
In recent years, the vineyard has had its fair share of troubles. But nothing could have prepared Jim and Anne Dowling for the events that took place 2 years ago.
When we bought the house, we were aware, obviously, it was a festival. But we thought, OK, well, that's something we can probably put up with. We thought it might be quite fun. Well, the reality was different. I suppose what made it worse was that Michael Eavis, in the meantime, had actually bought a further 120 acres or the thereabouts land, which was actually adjacent to our land. So that then actually moved the boundary of the festival right next to our land. So that was the difference. When you get large numbers of people in a village, which is basically 1,000 people, and there's no public toilets or anything, they tend to use wherever they can. And our land was very seriously fouled. I mean, there was toilet paper and excreta everywhere. You know, our dogs got covered in it. We had to sort of wash them. People were, there was a stream bordering the land, and there were people using it to wash and do everything in as well. We're fortunate enough to have a swimming pool. That was invaded. The filth that was left in the pool, toilet paper, feces, sanitary towels, condoms. It was really awful. And my wife had a nervous breakdown because it was just sort of a total invasion of privacy.
It's a way of life, and we just have to learn to live with it if we live here, really. And it's a shame because, you know, after it's happened, the place looks as though it's been sort of decimated. There's rubbish everywhere, and, you know, there's sort of... but, you know, we can't... We tried to stop it, and we couldn't, and so I'd say it's a beautiful place to live. So it's, you know, nothing's perfect, is it? And we've just got to... you know, learn to live with it, really.
The Pilton site itself up here on the top right. This is the Roman Way site just outside of Glastonbury, and just down here was a site where most of you will remember that last night at Boroughbridge we actually moved and followed a whole convoy of vehicles of about some 130 to 150 down to that site. They bedded themselves down there for the night, where they remained until early hours of this morning. It was then that the Roman Way site up here at Glastonbury decided to move. Some 30 plus vehicles moved down to join the convoy during the mid-morning, and that increased it to some 180 to 200 vehicles. And there was a small influx during the course of the early afternoon. What happened next was that shortly after 2:30, the convoy decided to start to move.
Driving round and round the lanes of Somerset, being constantly moved on by the police, angered the travellers, who believed even at this late stage, Michael Eavis would change his mind and give them some land where they could park their buses and vans. By now, a number of old vehicles had run out of fuel, and one last attempt was made to get in.
We're going to get in now, one way or the other. Just stay here.
Yeah, from 724, he's out of range of vehicle. I'm calling across if you want to speak to him. 724.
Well, we've got this for us, so we might as well stay here and get in there tomorrow. I'm not giving up now. I've got this for, I'm going to get in there one way or the other.
So what are they doing? What's the plan?
The chief there just told me that they're towing away all vehicles that aren't roadworthy, also vehicles that are left with no drivers, they've got to be towed in. They're going to take them to the pound at the Barton West Showground.
They haven't stopped any and looked at them yet, have they?
And they're going to confiscate those that aren't roadworthy, give them 21 days to collect them and put them right.
Well, we shall see. Because I don't see them this lot isn't going to just disappear. We shall get a bit more aggravation yet.
Yeah. And they're going to come back down again. That's all they've been doing.
I can't make it out. I mean, they've got a helicopter up there, and there's all saying that, you know, they were monitoring on an hourly basis. There's no way that we're going to get near the site. And all of a sudden, there's 60 or 70 vehicles here.
There must